Oh my gosh, people, it is me, the East Coast Gamer, welcoming you. I don't know who does this, I'm sorry, please don't sue me. I'm back. For how long? I don't know. This probably just be one video. This probably just be the only video that I post in like 6 months, so I'm sorry, but this video is kind of needed. Although this is mostly a gaming channel, there's also sports related content that I like to do, and if you can't tell by all the apparel, probably know what team I am a fan of. The Knicks are actually good. Surprisingly good. Like, we could make the playoffs this year when I thought we were going to be the worst team in the league. Good. A shout out to Tibbs. Shout out to Julius Randle. Shout out to all the young guys playing well. I'm excited for the first time in a long time. And, I had a friend ask me, man, when's the last time you were excited to be a Knicks fan or, like, excited for a team? And honestly, it was probably Porzingis' rookie year. Because or maybe, his all-star year. But even before that, it was probably, like, Linsanity and the 50-win team back in 2013. I mean, that's how long it's been. So, I mean, crazy. And, they're doing it well. They're playing all really, really good. Like, Julius Randle is having an amazing year. He looks like a completely different player. RJ is improved. Still improving, getting better, you can tell. Still has to work on his shooting. But he's getting much better. Emmanuel quickly is arguably the steal of the draft. OB is getting better. It's going to take him time, give him some patience. And the veterans that they have are playing well too. I mean, it's so refreshing to see the Knicks not do Knicks things, not be impatient, trade their young guys, and go after someone else's stars and build it naturally and continue to build, and hopefully they continue to build. But this is kind of the point of the video. You see, the keywords I said there were build it naturally. Because there's been some rumors, and Knicks fans are excited. I have friends telling me we're going to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Nets, and obviously I don't believe that at all. They're probably going to be out of the playoffs in the first round if they make the playoffs. Yeah, Knicks fans excited now. Ooh, we're back, baby. We're back, baby. We gotta go and get a star. We gotta go and get Zach LaVine or CJ McCollum or Victor Oladipo or Buddy Hield or the one everybody's talking about now is Bradley Beal, Bradley Beal, Bradley Beal. And all I have to say to all these rumors, patience. Patience, Knicks fans, patience, okay? Let's be honest. Are we really a championship contender at this stage? No. Does Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine or CJ McCollum or insert any other player, do they get us over the hump? No. So, with that being said, why would we trade for a Bradley Beal? And some people are going to say, oh, a Bradley Beal and Julius Randle combination is a good place to start a rebuild. I guess, but the problem with trading for Bradley Beal is you're going to have to give up a young player and a bunch of picks. And the rumored thing that the Wizards want is RJ Barrett, 2 unprotected firsts and 2 future firsts. That's a steep price to pay for a 30-point per game scorer. Yes, he's talented. Yes, Bradley Beal is arguably one of the best scorers in the league, but he scores on a bad team and they don't win. So, and again, I don't want to disrespect Bradley Beal. I think he's a hell of a player. He deserves to be an all-star. He's an all-star-like player, but is he a good player that can help you win, or is he just a stat-padding guy who puts up good numbers on bad teams? I think he's a good player that puts up good numbers. His team sucks personally, but you never know. So that's kind of my point. Is like this happened 10 years ago. It was just the 10-year anniversary of the Melo trade when the Knicks had some young players. They had a Gallinari. They had a Wilson Chandler. They had a good Raymond Felton. They had a Tony Douglas and a Landry Fields. They had Amari Stoudemire to be the big man veteran, like a Julius Randle right now. And they traded for the elite scorer Carmelo Anthony, which I love the trade back then. And I love the player. I still love Carmelo Anthony to this day, but that trade didn't do anything for us. Now, to be fair, people will probably say that if we had kept all those guys, we still wouldn't have won. It's probably true. So it was kind of like at that time they had to do that trade. But don't, but don't make the same mistakes you made in the past, Knicks. Don't jump the gun. Don't trade for a Bradley Beal. Don't trade for, especially for Zach LaVine or any of these other guys. Don't trade for those guys. We don't need a guy like that. And the catch-22, unfortunately, though, is, well, if you do keep all your assets and you keep all your players, and are they actually going to develop? Because you could have a case of the Boston Celtics where you have Tatum and Brown and they've developed and they're great players, but they're not winning still. Are they going to be a championship team? I don't know. I don't think they can win a championship. I personally think the Celtics are the Portland Trail Blazers of the Eastern Conference, where they're going to get to the dance but never get to the big dance. And they're going to be semifinalists every year. Or, if you're like the Wizards, for instance, you had a John Wall, you had a Bradley Beal, you drafted an Otto Porter. Two of those three guys panned out. Two of them are now with the organization now, and the other one might be gone too. You don't know what these young guys, I could say RJ Barrett is going to get better, but how do I know? He could just be the same guy. Same thing with Anobi, same thing with the Quickly. They could all just be busts. And then you're wondering, well, what if we had traded for Bradley Beal? So there's just so much you can say. You really don't know. To say, save your assets, well, again, those assets might end up not being great players. And even if they do turn out to be great players, look at Oklahoma City. They had all the assets. They had the best draft run from like 2007 to 2011. They had Ibaka, Harden, Westbrook, Durant on their team. Reggie Jackson, Steven Adams. I mean, all the players they drafted, and they have no championships. So, I really don't know what the Knicks should do. I think they need to stay put. See what an RJ Barrett can do in the playoffs. See what a Julius Randle can do in the playoffs. And if you see something, then you can build around those guys. If not, then you do move him for a Bradley Beal next year. Or, what I personally would hope is you wait for another disgruntled star, because it's the NBA. Players get pissed off at their organizations and want out. Maybe you wait for Luka to get annoyed with the Mavericks. People are going to say I'm crazy, but you never know. Maybe Jason Tatum wants out after a couple years. Yeah, maybe Zion. You never know. Kawhi could want out. LeBron could want out. I don't freaking know. It's just all the possibilities. What I'm basically saying is I'm saying to stay put until you actually get a difference maker to want to come to your team. Whether that be in free agency, which I personally prefer because you don't have to give up assets, or by drafting or trading. But I think to trade now, when you don't really know what you have in these guys that you have, is not a good idea. So give it a year. See if we do make the playoffs, which I think we are, which would be extremely exciting for me. If we do make the playoffs, see what the guys are made out of. And then if you have something there, you build around these guys. If you don't have what you feel like you need to have to win a championship, then you trade for a Bradley Beal. But you have to trade for an elite talent, not. And people are going to say I'm crazy. I personally don't think Zach LaVine is an elite talent. I think he's just a stat patter. CJ McCollum doesn't move the needle either, so don't trade for him. You'd have to go for the big fish. You got to go big game hunting. So that's just personally my thoughts on the Knicks right now. Please feel free to tell me what you guys think. If you want me to talk about more about the Knicks, I can. I can do like game recaps and all that stuff if you want. But until then, East Coast Gamer out. I'll see you guys in the next video, which could be either in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, or maybe I never post again. Who knows?